Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to take a look at how to achieve this reverse reverb technique that we've just looked at in class. It's pretty simple, but there are a few kind of stringent steps to the process, so remember you can pause this video, follow along at your own pace. So for this I'm going to be using this monologue from a film called June. I'm just going to play it just so you can hear it unaffected.
In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness.
Yeah, you get the idea. So what we're going to do is the first step is we're going to have to duplicate this track. We've got it dry, completely unaffected here. We're going to duplicate the track by selecting the track over here and hitting Command and D. And of course my computer lags out. There we go. Okay, so we've got a duplicate, and I'm going to mute the original at this point by hitting this track activator here. And I'm going to rename this track immediately. I'm going to rename the second track by selecting the name and hitting Command and R, and then type in reverb backwards. And a couple of things we need to do now. The first thing is we're going to reverse this piece of audio. I'm going to double click it, look straight down in my sample options here, and I'm going to hit this reverse button, Rev. It'll take a couple of seconds to perform the action, and once it's done, I'm just going to take a quick listen to it to make sure it's done what I wanted. Right, awesome. So it's backwards. We need to now apply a reverb to it. So I'm going to drag a reverb, select my audio effects category, cycle down to my reverb, and click and drag and pop it onto the track, and it will appear down here on the device view. And I'm just going to make a few adjustments to this. It really doesn't matter for the purposes of my demonstration, but please do take some time to get a sound that you like. The important thing here is you really must adjust this dry wet parameter all the way to 100%, otherwise this technique just won't work. But this decay time, and to be honest any other parameter on here you can mess around with. I'm going to make it like a smaller reverb, and we can listen to it as we do it. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter, like 2500 milliseconds. Maybe a bit longer, let's go 3 seconds. But yeah, spend some time getting the sound that you kind of like. But what we're now going to do is we are going to record this audio into a separate track. So we're now going to need a new audio track, so I'm going to hit Command and T. I'm going to select the track and I'm going to call it Reverb Record. Then on the I/O options, the input and output options for this track, I'm going to select where it says external in, and I'm going to change that to be reverb backwards. And what this will do is it will now listen and take audio from the reverb backwards channel. I then need to hit record arm on the track, and then I'm just going to hit record. And what's happening here is this new track is recording the audio, the reverse reverb audio. Wait for it to finish. Cool. And I've told it to stop automatically using this mark out fader up here. It's basically your loop brace. We set a point either by clicking and dragging here or typing a number up here, and then we hit this button and it will stop all recording activity after that point. And the really important thing here though is reverb obviously has what we call a tail, an audio tail. This part of the audio, we really need all of that as well. So notice that I didn't stop the recording like here, because we would have lost this part of the reverb. So always give yourself a little bit of a buffer, a little bit more space, so that that reverb can be taken into account. But now what we're going to do is we're going to mute the second track. And we're going to double click the recorded audio, the audio that we've just recorded, and we're going to re-reverse that. So double click it, clip options down here, and hit reverse. Cool. And now we're going to mix the original dry monologue with the reverb that we've just recorded. So we don't need this second track anymore, that's kind of done its job, we can just close that down. But what we need to do now is we need to line up the dry audio with the reverb that's been reversed here. So I'm going to first of all activate that track, the dry track. And I found the best way to do this can be a little bit tricky and you can kind of fiddle with it for a while, but I found the best way to do this is to line up the ends of the tracks. So making sure that kind of this point and this point snap together. And that's usually a good starting point, so I'm going to start from there. Line up the tracks, make sure they're both active, and then press play. So let's have a listen.
In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends...
Sounding pretty good, but I want to kind of mix the levels at this point. I want the dry audio to be louder than the reversed reverb, so I'm actually going to select the volume of the reversed reverb, and I'm going to take it down by, let's be quite liberal here and take it down by like -9 dB, and then take another listen.
In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. A product of the spice, the red sappho juice stains the lips of the mentats, but allows them to be human computers.
Yeah, but that's it. Pretty easy to do. Takes a few kind of specific steps to get there. We don't really need this reverse reverb track anymore, this reverb backwards track. I could even delete that at this point. It's really just these two tracks that we need to mess with. But you might go ahead and kind of tweak the placement of these tracks. Remember, you can turn your grid off by hitting Command and 4. And you might really go to town kind of lining some stuff up here so that the sound snaps together.
But allows them to be human computers.
And, you know, even just the tiniest kind of movement of these audio tracks will give you a pretty different sound. That's it. Give it a go, please. Hopefully you can achieve this without too much trouble. Awesome, awesome. Signing out for this vid. Peace, peace, peace.